the shadows of this quiet town. I see you there, your feathers on the ground. Your eyes are heavy with the weight of the world. What's in a life you never could offer? Even if you never flown before, you can take a chance and try once more. Don't let your worries weigh you down, down, down. You can still take flight, although you're earthbound. To rise above these crowds.
Look at this mint boondocking spot I found. So the highway is right there at the very top there, right at the top of this hill. But as I went by, I looked and it's like, okay, well, somebody did some work down here, but you can just tell by the, I always look at the wood. And if it's all gray and everything like that, that's minimum. It's like 2 years old to look like that. So I don't know what they were doing or why this is here. It's kind of all swampy and rocks all around it. So I don't know. It's I thought it might have been for logging, like they would have parked the trucks here, but then it's quite a mess. It almost looks like they're filling it. Like they started building this up for a reason, and maybe it was for future logging. Maybe they were doing a job somewhere, they had extra fill, so they just came over here and started dumping it in, saying, hey, sooner or later we're going to log this, so we might as well get some infrastructure put in. But right now, as you can see, it's just all rocks and really nothing. It doesn't go nowhere. I shouldn't say that. You can see, looks like some machine was driving through there at one time, but this obviously hasn't been used for a long time, or nobody's worked this for a while. Because none of these tracks are fresh here. There's not even marks on the ground. And even back here where she's soft, now obviously they've been in here a while ago. If I go here where it's all marshy, yeah, if you look, there's no marks here. The moss, everything, nothing's moved for a while. You can tell just by the wood. Like, I mean, that's not even a couple years old. That's way older than that. But just by this, that's a machine that comes in and grinds all the stuff off. So I don't know what they're. Like I said, maybe in the future they're going to log this, and that's why they put all this stuff here to get ready. Don't know. But regardless, it's a pretty cool spot. I don't see any tracks in the mud either. I'll just look in there to see if I can see hoof tracks or something, but there's absolutely not one. But nobody's been using it either. Like I thought, usually when you see places like this, you always see some, especially because of the rocks that are given here, you'd see a ring here and somebody made a fire or something like that, but there's absolutely nothing. And I don't even see, barely, I can see a track right there. So I mean, there has been vehicles down here. You can see tracks there, but nobody's been doing anything down here. So maybe people come down here and hike through the bush too, for all I know. But there was no signs by the highway or anything saying private property or do not enter or anything like that. So she's crown land. So I'm not too far from where the ferry is going to take me from Nova Scotia back to New Brunswick. Probably about 50 or 60 kilometers. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, guys, I cannot say it again, or I cannot say enough. A, what a beautiful boondocking spot, and B, what a beautiful day. Absolutely gorgeous. 21 degrees, so let's just say 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It said it was going to rain today, but it rained last night because my shoes got wet. But other than that, now the sun's out and it's a nice little breeze. Another beautiful day. Very fortunate. And it's like the 23rd of October, I think. Perfect. So right over there, I'm just outside of Halifax, maybe 1 hour's drive, but right over there you'll see the truck camper. It's actually on the Ford Ranger chassis, and they don't have them in Canada, but supposedly the gentleman told me that they're now selling them in Canada, but he's from Germany, and the van, the green van you see there, is from Switzerland. So I went over there and talked to them and had a nice conversation, but he was saying from Germany to ship that truck camper over here was just over $4,000, which I was very shocked. He says it takes 5 weeks, so you drop it off and then 5 weeks later it gets here, or you come pick it up. But anyways, yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. So they're actually heading back today. So they're going to Halifax, dropping the truck off, and then he said on their they get a flight to go back over to Germany on the, I think he said the 22nd, something like that. So we're revisiting today, guys, probably one of the most iconic lighthouses, most photographed lighthouse in the world. I'm not saying it is the most photographed, it's one of the most. And of course, if you know, I'm in Nova Scotia, Peggy's Cove. I don't think it's so much the lighthouse itself, it's where it's situated and the backdrop. I mean, it's pretty cool. But anyways, we're gonna go take a look. Swiss Air flight. Probably know about that jet, the passenger jet that went down. I think it was in 1998, killing everybody on board. 200 and, gosh, it's been a while since I looked that up. 270 people, something like this. Pretty damn sad. I don't really know. I just saw a sign back there saying the memorial. I have no idea where it is. When I stop up here, I'll have to look at, and hopefully there's enough room for me to pull over. So guys, what you see here is a carving in the granite. So this gentleman that lived in this house, which is now an art gallery, at age 77, he decided to start doing some carvings in this granite. He wasn't able to finish though because he died in 1983. But I'll show you a sketch of what it was going to be when he finished it. Well guys, like I said, it's almost November and look at the people still here. Maybe I can Photoshop them all out. But see, if you look at the lighthouse itself, I've seen actually prettier lighthouses, but I haven't seen lighthouses with a backdrop like this. This is what makes Peggy Cove, right? Well, like I was saying, guys, maybe January the 5th will be the best time to come here. I just can't believe how many people. It's almost November. There's like 7 tour buses in the parking lot, which just absolutely. I was here in 2017 and there was like 4 of us out here. Of course, it was May the 1st, but still. I don't know, guys, I'm at the restaurant here and I was going to have lobster. It's 11:30 in the morning, but I did get the seafood platter. So the lighthouse is right there. And it's actually not too busy in here, to be honest, but I'm sure it will get busy. All right, guys, we are in Sydney, Nova Scotia, and that over there is the ferry heading over to Newfoundland. Here we got the harbor and some ducks. It poured for about 4 days in this area, so this is a this business here is sells lobsters and stuff like that. They're closed for the season. There's a big sign, so they're not even open. And this is just a big parking lot behind them. So this is going to be boondocking for tonight with the ducks. Most of the fishing boats are about 35 to 40 feet long, like these guys here, but look at this big guy. There's a good sized fishing boat right there. Now that's a good looking lighthouse. So this was the Royal Battery, and you can see what it looked like in its day. And so we'll just go for a walk and see what's down here. I have no idea, but you can just see off in the distance, there's the lighthouse we just visited. And over there is the Louisbourg Fortress, which we'll be going to see next. It was built in 1713 by France, the French colonists, and then the British took it in, oh gosh, I don't know, 1758 or something like that, and they actually demolished it. And then between 1961 and 1980, it was rebuilt. So we're definitely going to check it. Only a quarter of the size of the original. It was an entire town. In case you didn't pause to read that, it stated that, yeah, see, like, I don't get it. If they're saying this was actually put in place here to protect the fortress from erosion, which does kind of make sense, what would that be? If it's not a tunnel going over for the men to come from the barracks and living quarters up towards the battery without being seen. I don't know. But they're saying that when the English attacked, they abandoned the post here, and then what did they do? They actually turned the cannons on the fortress itself. So the battery that's supposed to protect everything was actually used against them. French. There's another one right there. So that would have came across over to here. And nothing's visible, of course, but you can tell, look at the indentations there. As always, guys, they put JJ in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Every time they see me pull up with this rig, the guy goes, "Go to that back lot." Okay. How do I want to park here? You know what? There's a site, guys, what it looked like in 1970. Wow. So when I bought the ticket, I asked the lady about tours, and she goes, "No, we're in the off season right now." So she goes, "We don't give out tours." So I'm technically your tour guide here, guys. So that's an old building there, and that's another old building, and there's another old building, and there's a couple old buildings over there, and that's where you buy your tickets. So yeah, and another old building right there. So there. How am I doing? They don't have a map that you can walk around with. So there's something that you click on your phone, I guess. But yeah, I heard these guys out of this building here. Where do you go in? Maybe this door here? I don't know. Doesn't say don't come in. So this basically says, and you can pause it there if you want, guys, but he was an officer. And he had a great relationship with the Indians, and when he fell ill, he had many chiefs come and visit him here in this house. So this was his home, his residence. And this is the building that's attached to the officer's quarters, or the officer's house. So it's one big building. I'm thinking if you take a tour in the summertime when they paying the, so I pay like $8.50 to come in here, and I asked a lady during the summertime, she goes, it's $20, and she goes, that's when you get a tour. So I would imagine on the tours, they actually take you upstairs and stuff like that, but they're not gonna, self-guided tours, they're not gonna let you. So they're saying only 1/4 of the whole town was rebuilt. There you can see a foundation right there. Go in the basement too. Oh, that's cool. Oh, look at the slate tiles for the roof. Very cool. Look at them all. So it's strictly the foundation, but this was also another home by an officer, but he actually had a slave, and it's Marguerite Rose, and she actually was freed, and then she became the first black woman to run a business in what is now Canada. Wow, there you go. And there's a plaque across the field where you are, and I don't see it. Tell me it's not in the weeds. But yeah, well, there you go. So only 1/4 of this town was rebuilt. As you can see, just remaining foundations from the rest of the buildings they didn't want to rebuild. Those days until you're in a day like today, but in those days you'd say, God, I wish I had a day like today. Especially for sleeping. Especially for sleeping.
Well, it's also good for working when you're working
Yeah.
in the gardens.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because this summer tested our mettle, I would say.
Oh yeah?
Well, the gardeners work outside in that heat all summer long. It was 28 degrees.
So this is the upstairs of his residence, the draftsman. Yeah. Well, you better go take a look what the harbor looks like. I wonder what relics lay at the bottom out there. Cannonballs. A lime kiln. That's how they made mortar. I'll tell you, that's a lot of work to rebuild this. Wow. There's a big old cannon sitting right there. I wonder if they did ear testing back then, you know? The van shows up and you put the headphones on. Because I mean, I'm sure God, these guys would be going deaf firing those things off. They probably did. They probably had a package deal for their health care. Do you remember what I just said about relics out there? You can pause that and read that, guys. At its peak, Louisbourg was the busiest port in French North America. The harbor was large enough to contain all the ships and boats that ever needed to be anchored. The French Ministry of Marine provided navigation service such as pilots, hydrographers, and lighthouse. 5,527. 5,473. 5,417. And you can tell people were walking up on the roof. Why did they should get some ropes out here, because people, if you leave it like that, people will crawl up there and wreck the shingles. Drawbridge. Very cool. So they're saying this is the barracks, and it said there is mainly used for the guys going back to France. So there you go. There's that little sheepy right there. A whole bunch of shit over there, so I'm assuming they have some livestock here. But it's incredible when you think about it. They rebuilt all this. At what cost? So I'm definitely thinking this wall is original, just from the mortar itself. So I didn't see this on the other ones. It looks like the way they hold these blocks together, you got a piece of iron and then possibly lead on both sides here to make up the joint, to hold these blocks together in case they get hit by a cannonball. That's more strength than just mortar. So I'm thinking they wouldn't have done this if they're just rebuilding it. I'm thinking this is original. Cool. Oh, here's another example of gotta fix stupidity. Somebody probably walked up to the edge and fell off. And all of a sudden it's like, ooh, now we gotta put up a barrier. So now we got ropes and everything. So now we gotta fix stupid. You can't fix stupid, people. Look at this cool looking little building. What is it? Come on, guess. Ooh, pick me. I got the answer. No, I don't. Ice house. Well, there you go. This is an 18th century refrigerator ice house. Like this one, were stocked during the winter months with ice cut from frozen lakes. The ice was placed in the pit and packed with layers of straw for insulation. The governor, whom this house was built for, stored perishable food items here and no doubt enjoyed a chilled drink with his guests on a warm summer's evening. Of course, when you're rich and powerful. But of course he would have. Beneath us is the original well of the ice house, built about 1720, filled in the winter for pond nearby. Oh, gotta get the camera out. Got to get the camera out. Flash time. Don't drop your cell phone. Cool. How's this thing doing? Is it even taking a picture? It only looks like it goes down 8 feet. But being that thick of stone and that far down in the ground, guaranteed it worked. So we got a garden over there and a couple of little goaties. What are you guys doing? Impressive. So what I've read is this thing was totally demolished and they rebuilt the whole thing. That's incredible. Okay, some holders out there for rifles. Well, I'm assuming being this close to the governor's quarters that this would have been his guards. But I have no idea. There's nothing stating anything. I'm sure there's something somewhere. But that's where the guards would have been. And on this side over here, because this is where they would have stored their rifles, right? I'm assuming this would have been the officer in charge of those guys. Of course, I am just assuming. Because he's got the fireplace. Of course, a fortress wouldn't be a fortress without a moat. I'm assuming every place has to have a jail. I think. I think it's a long ways down there. It's a jail. I'm sure I'll read it over here though. Because you know, if they're soldiers, there's going to be bad boys. There it is right there. Oh, I'm not sure what that was. You can read it right there. Many purposes. In peacetime, they were ideal space for storage or for a prison. Well, here's one missing a door. Oh yeah, look at that. Nope. Light time. You know what? I guess I'll bringing my little light with me. That LED one. Boy, I can feel a cool breeze coming here. So obviously, if the courtyard here got full of water from a downpour, it would come in here, pour in here, and pour out that way, and head back towards the ocean. Yeah, if you're in here as a prisoner, that would really suck. So here's another one, and they got this blocked off here, but they have something here, and I'll have to read it, but I just see nothing but women, so I'm assuming, again, I'm gonna record it, then I'll be able to see it on the laptop, and I'm assuming during the fighting, the women come down here to be protected. Hey, let's open the door here. Where's women's rights? Shouldn't they be allowed to be out there being fight and shot at with cannons, and the men be down here and hidden? Right, girls? Nowadays, it's equal rights. So I think we should actually protest that. I don't know if, can you see that, guys? We have a turkey right there, And there's chickens. So I don't know if I can get a better view. Oh yeah, probably. Got a spot here. Oh, I'm gonna just go above. See the chickens and the turkey. Of course, the governor's he get all the good stuff. I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, they got it locked. I can't even save them. Can't save them. Yeah, that one's falling apart inside there. Oh, this door's open. Oh, what's this one look like? Man, oh man. I don't know if I go in there like that, guys. I don't know if you're going to be able to see anything or not. Maybe. Confession booth. Okay, you guys wait here. I'm going to be a while. This is where the Superior Council met. Don't tell. Somebody got the fancy bedroom. Another fancy bedroom. The private bedroom. This was the governor's private bedroom, although guests were sometimes received here as well. Oh, I didn't know that. Look at that. Governor spent a great deal of time in this room. He was buried under the floor of the chapel where he still rests today. Oh, look at that. Okay, what was this guy, like 4 feet tall? What the hell? I think my Doberman would need a bigger room or a bigger bed. There's no way that's an original bed. Like even this one is barely, like, no, I don't think so. Unless these guys were that short back then, which they probably were. Look at that chest. So guys, your best to actually pause this if you're interested. You know, obviously you don't have to, but it's pretty interesting what they did back then and how they lived. But just pause and then just take a quick read of that. Look at that kitchen. Only the best for the big boys. There's no craft dinner in here. Oh man, those are cool. Yeah, if you were a cook for the governor, meant you know what you were doing. It's a bathroom? Well, kind of. Did I see? Yeah, I did see that room. That was the governor's room over there. So this was an ensuite. That's the governor's room there where I said about the bed being so small. And looky, he's got a fireplace to keep warm, and there's the shitter right there, and whatever bowl there, and they kept that whole thing full of water for him. And this guy lived like a king. All the furnishings. Look at the old chests and stuff. 1 week to go back in time and live here for 1 week. I don't mean here in this building, but I mean in this time. Of course, not during battle. I don't think I tried this one. I didn't. That's the dungeon. If you're bad, you go down there. they were able to recover a lot of stuff.
Adjacent to the chaplain's quarters and connecting with the chapel is where the priests kept their vestments, vessels, and parish record books. It was in the mid-1730s that the chapel of St. Louis became the parish church of Louisbourg. Louisbourg was more than a fortress and seaport. It was also a parish. The Recollets of Brittany, a branch of the Franciscan order, were entrusted with the care of the parish known as Our Lady of Angels.
So I was just reading the plaque over here, and it says that this was another officer's room, but if the officer was unmarried, this is where, so there's many rooms like this in this building for the officers that are unmarried, but the ones that are married were in homes, which you would have saw out there with their families. So they actually physically had a house. The rest of them, if they weren't married, don't need a house, so they just put them in a room. Oh. We saw that door already. I think this is it. I don't think. Ooh. Oh, look. They had vacuum cleaners back then. Oh, a trap door. Sweet. Click, 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 click. I am such a jerk. It would be cool to go to the basement. I know there's a way to get down there. Okay, I think that's it, guys, for the governor's building here.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong.
I always miss everything. They got selection of, they got drinks and food and everything, but it's always till October 13th, October 13th, October 13th. JG gets screwed again because today's the 17th. Well, guys, that is just about the end of our tour. Guys, that is it for this episode. So, as always, let's try that again. As always, be good, be kind, be careful. We'll see you down the road. Bye-bye.
I think it's time for me to go, burn all bridges.